play of the game from way down.
True, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bombs going.
Oh my goodness, the ring. Bob Stastinko gonna find Rainer.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming series. Tonight, we're gonna bring you Full Meta Jacket versus VileFin Mrgles. And these teams have had some difficulties in Division C West, but tonight, only one team will leave defeated? I guess I was gonna say undefeated, but that's not the case. It's the other way around. So right now, these are the teams at the bottom of the bracket. Full Meta Jacket with a single point. VileFin Mrgles, as yet, no points. So looking for their first victory here are both of these teams. Let's take a look at our maps that we have banned out here for the night. Just letting the teams know that we're all set up and ready to go. Out of the Full Meta Jacket, we've got Braxis Holdout and Tomb of the Spider Queen being banned. VileFin Mrgles banned out Dragonshire and Infernal Shrines. And our first pick of the night is going to be Alterac Pass. It was the selection of the VileFin Mrgles. Slinger, there we go. So, we did see some hero adjustments this past week. Do I need anything? No, just don't. There we go. Anyways, we had some adjustments. We had some fixes to Greymane, so his Unleashed talent is all fine and dandy now. We had some minor nerfs to both Deathwing and Oriole, but nothing really worth worrying about. I don't know how much value Deathwing gets at this point. It didn't seem like he lost a lot, but he definitely lost a little bit. But we're all set up for the draft, going to Alterac Pass. And make sure I got enough room on my note sheet here. Starting off the bans is Full Meta Jacket. Full Meta Jacket was a Division D team, I believe, last season. Moving up, they did pretty well in Division D last season. But finding the competition in Division C a little bit stronger. Leaving our first ban here, she's able to get the long-range poke, throwing those orbs from a mile away. Ah. And let's see, what do we got going on here? Oriole's going to be the next ban. And this is what we see a lot. We see Oriole, we see Deathwing in that second ban slot. And we'll see what we get out of the second ban slot for Full Meta Jacket. The first ban in this meta is basically able to control the entire draft because they can force the enemy team to not have access to heroes that they want to have access to, like Kael'thas and Li Ming. Whereas the second team kind of has to decide, do they want to give up some of those strong heroes? And it looks like Deathwing is left open. So this is game number 4 tonight with no ban on Deathwing. And we'll see. Might not be any picks on Deathwing. Full Meta Jacket, you can tell, is sitting over there going, all right, guys, so do we Deathwing? The answer is yes. We Deathwing. Alrighty, so Gunslinger going to be picking up the Destroyer. And that's going to give right into the Greymane ETC. So Greymane going to have that Cursed Bullet to bring down the Deathwing pretty quickly. All right, we got some C West folks in the house. I've been waiting since last week for this game. Why haven't you been waiting all season? All right, Anduin coming in. And you know what? He's even on the correct side. I kind of want to see Garrosh now on the right side. Right? Since we're on Alterac Pass. You guys are with me on this, right? Hey, Valkymer. We also have the Lunara here, so variant going to be the final ban here for VileFin Mrgles, except when he is going all lawful evil tyrant. I am not a lawful evil tyrant. I've been waiting since yesterday, says Mr. Sad Panda. Fair enough, fair enough. Oh my goodness. Final ban here for full meta jacket. I'm a little surprised that it wasn't the Leoric. A little bit surprised. Toronto can put out a Hunter's Mark, so there is that. There's also the potential for the Lunar Flare stuns to combo off of ETC's Power Slide. Hey, I'm not saying that they're all on the right side. It's just that Anduin's on the left. I guess Sylvanas could be on the right too. Oh, they blew it. So we're going full on into Kill the Deathwing comp from the side of VileFin Mrgles. So it's going to be up to full meta jacket to have enough in the rest of their team to provide a threat, right? To be able to stop the ETC moshes. I guess Deathwing can do that. He just has to take that fear. But that means he's going to have to be right up in the thick of things. And that might not be the best place for a Leoric Greymane. Anubarak, though, can do that. Anubarak's got a couple of stuns. He can Burrow Charge. He can Impale. He also has Cocoon. And Juggerab bringing in the Orphea. Orphea, one of the heroes that did get some adjustments, some value out of the changes. So we'll see how she does in this game. And Lucio, the final pick. Yeah, I generally have it there. I've been trying to adjust the stream titles a little bit to see if I can get to bring other people from outside. All right, so there we go. So we got Lucio, we got ETC, Greymane, Leoric, and Jaina. So they're all set. Make sure they didn't move people around. That's always a pain in the neck when they do. But let's go ahead and get our vote in chat set up here. All right. Vote in chat. Hit up to the top right of your screen, hit the drop down, select the team you think is going to win or that you just want to win. Hit the vote button, because if you don't hit the vote button, your vote does not count. And let's see who wins this game. Is it going to be on the left, the full meta jacket with Deathwing? Or is it going to be the VileFin Mrgles on the right with the anti-Deathwing? I don't know. I don't know. We shall see. As the game officially ready to go, let's get our teams introduced. On the left, we've got full meta jacket. Deathwing going to be played by Gunslinger. We got Modus trolling on the Anduin Runtime Logic. On the Anubarak, Barber playing the Lunara, and Juggerab on Orphea. And over here to the right, we got the VileFin Mrgles. Smoke going to be playing the Leoric, Mr. Sad Panda on the Jaina. Lawlins on the Greymane, Tom Jen on the ETC, and Stony going to be playing that Lucio. We don't know how to vote from... Well, figure it out, Valkymer. That is true. Race recliner? Race recliner. We'll go with that. Deathwing and Lunara will be too much, especially with an ETC main tank. Could be interesting. So we got the party mix there from Lucio. Eventually he'll get that increased radius on his AoE circle there, his crossfade. Yeah, I guess I actually don't know the ability. Yeah, I guess it is crossfade. Yeah, okay. Lunara versus Leoric up in the top lane here. So Lunara's got the vision from her poisons here, natural perspective. Full meta jacket getting 4 out of the 6 votes. So there you go, folks. Deathwing is in the house. Leoric trying to stay onto the Lunara, not quite able to secure that kill though. As Anduin and Orphea gonna head over to their camp a little bit sooner than Greymane Lucio, but Greymane does more damage onto this than the Orphea, so that's gonna take probably a little bit more time for the full meta jacket team to get that. We do have the Dragon Soul, so going into that AoE burst for the heals. Nubrak going into Nerubian armor, giving him that spell power, additional spell power rather, defense. And then bold strategy for Anduin, getting all of the talents. So I was wrong. Slight adjustment on the timing here. Full meta just barely ahead. We do have here Lingering Chill for Jaina, so she's gonna have 6 seconds instead of 4 seconds on that duration. Is that the, I don't know. I'll try to see if I can take a look. Greymane having to pull back though. I can't zoom in any closer to her to check. But Anubrak's gonna bro charge right on out. Lucio's coming in. Not able to get that boop back. What else? We got the Prog Rock. The Consume Vitality out of Leoric. So every time he hits a hero, he gets that percentage healing. Greymane rotating up because Leoric not having a great time against the Lunara. Turns out, if you're a melee into that ranged assassin, it's a little bit difficult sometimes to land the abilities you need to. But in the bot lane, it's going to be the Deathwing V ETC. And if there's one thing I know about dragons, it's that they like to eat cows. Prove me wrong. First prison camp's coming up here, and we see that the teams are kind of zooming around each other. Deathwing gone up into the air, ready to land on a moment's notice. But the siege camp is going to be picked up here by full meta jacket first. And you know what? One of these changes was actually to this talent right here, Chaotic Assault. So if she has all 3 stacks of chaos, she's going to do a big extra burst of damage. And I believe her level 1 talent adds the slow, right? Yes. If she hits with overwhelming chaos, then she slows. Deathwing using that World Breaker form to throw out that Earth Shatter stun onto the Lucio. Also using the Lava Burst to cancel the channel here. ETC's going to, well, never mind. He's not going to do what I thought it did. The channel interrupted there, so 19 seconds left for full meta jacket to get their channel through. ETC very low though. Tomgen having to be careful. The burrow charge coming in, probably looking for that impale. Oh, there it goes. Big impale there, but not quite able to get the kill. Juggerov gonna get pulled out by Modus Trollin. The leap of faith at just the right moment to keep Orphea alive. In the meantime, we got a siege camp going in the mid lane. It's going to get cleared up here by the Lunara Orphea combo. Oh, well, there you go. That is kind of an interesting thing, Pet Wolverine. Nice, I don't know, trivia moment there. And there goes the double stun impale, followed by that Earthshatter. Greymane just getting melted, and I think he was actually okay and walked into the fire. So that's going to be first blood. Cataclysm coming out. Can can Deathwing get the kill onto Lucio? Not quite. But it looks like Mr. Sad Panda on the Jaina is going to be the next one to fall. And that should give the opportunity now for full meta jacket to get this prison camp started and likely secured. Deathwing going up into the air. Now making use of that level 7 talent Skyfall. Skyfall gives him the healing, but also reduces the cooldown for him to be able to come back down. We're going to see him coming down now. Greymane working on that siege camp. This could be a little bit of a danger spot here, as smoke is going to fall now. Okay. Wasn't sure if we would see Full Meta Jacket go in and try to invade that siege camp, because it did show. I mean, we can see it. And that's probably about the best timing they could have had on the siege camp, pulling it up. It's going to meet the cavalry here in the mid, but it's going to be relatively close to the towers too. And that stall actually probably helped out, because now the towers are there, and this siege camp is going to do armor penetration onto this cavalry. So that's going to get taken down pretty quickly. Both towers pretty well left alone there. Orphea is getting all of the value in the bot lane, as Stony here, very low. Going to try to make use of that, amp it up to keep the team healthy. Hey, I can chat here now. Okay, cool. Are you on your computer now, Valk? Bot lane is going to fall to Orphea, and oh, by the way, with that, level 10's now available for Full Meta Jacket. And that will be the conclusion of our first prison camp objective. Cavalry, net result, 1 fort. But ultimately giving the XP advantage pretty significantly over in favor of Full Meta Jacket here. Now for our ultimates, we have, of course, that Cocoon, the Crushing Jaws, Light Bomb as well, and Thornwood Vine, and of course the Bellowing Roar from the Deathwing. Kind of interesting to see Juggernaut been in this bot lane entirely solo for the last like 4 minutes. Feels like an eternity. Both teams going to pick up their siege camps. Those are approaching mid now. And Lucio playing a little dangerous, saying, come on, come get me. But it's just the Anduin and the Anub'arak. But here comes Deathwing now. There goes that Impale. Is going to hit the Lucio, but again, they don't have any follow-up to that lockdown. Also, of note here, keep in mind, Deathwing has additional armor plates. So his health bar has the, you can see those 2 vertical lines. That's his armor plates. So if you can get him under that yellow line, he'll drop on that armor, go from 20 to 10. Well, and that's a great entomb here. There's the Cataclysm coming out, but Deathwing's gonna be on the wrong side of that. Lucio, however, gonna be the one to fall. The Cocoon went out onto the Leoric, and ETC power sliding in, does select stage dive here. Anub'arak getting the burrow charge. Skyfall coming in. They're gonna get the kill onto ETC and Leoric. That started off looking so good, and then it just turned right around. And somehow Deathwing says, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go into the fort. Walks out because he's unstoppable, and then flies up and helps to get the kill onto ETC. But with that quad kill, Full Meta Jacket getting onto the, the prison camp here. And it looks like they're probably going to get it. Leoric went all the way up to the top lane there. Try to keep the lane pressured. Push that out as far as possible. They're going to have to clean up the bot lane first, because the bot lane is the danger zone now, right? It goes into their keep. Huge level lead and nothing for it. Yeah, fair enough. So Lunara doing the same as Leoric, except in the opposite lane. Trying to keep this lane pushed up. Trying to make sure that the prison camp is going to be able to get here. And more importantly, pull the team down. Pull VileFin Mrgles down into this bot lane so that they can get the value in the other 2 lanes. Is kind of what I assume they're doing. You have the prison camp, the Ram Riders, getting to the mid lane here. So going to start getting the tower damage. Now, we did discover previously Deathwing does not benefit from the aura from the Ram Riders. So that is a difference between what the devs said in the initial interview, or BlizzCon interview, I don't remember which, and what's actually here live. Lucio taking so much damage there, has to pop that Amped up. Top lane gonna go down as well, and we might see a kill onto Leoric. We do. Cursed Bullet going out, but Anduin helping to secure the kill onto ETC, the Cocoon onto Greymane. Anubrak very low, but gets the Leap of Faith out, and this is gonna be maybe another tower going down here. So mid keep exposed to the elements. And there's still a 5-man push here. With no Leoric, no ETC, no frontline whatsoever. Leoric back on the map now. So what I was going to say at the beginning there when we got that Entomb is it's one of the few ways that you can really lock down the Deathwing. That said, if he has Cataclysm, which he did, he just flies on out of there. But we could still see some value there. I mean, if we can get to level 20, that Leoric Entomb, it's not going to keep Deathwing from getting out, but a Silence Entomb could mean that you don't get the Burrow Charge out or even the Cocoon. And we are going to see here the camp, the boss being checked. Nubrak's there. He knows that they just came in. In theory, they could even, like, they know that they just left. They could even come down and just get this now. Nubrak looking, is he able to get to, because going after the Leoric isn't going to get him much. But the Jaina, oh no, Jaina went a little too far forward trying to get that spell out there. Greymane's going to go in the Cocoon, the Entomb out as well. Light Bomb a little early there for the Cocoon, but there, that's okay. Greymane dove in onto the Anubrak and he said, "Hey, kinky." I think that's what he says when he gets a kill. I don't know. In any case, he had an Impale all set up and ready to go. And these kills come at an opportune time for Full Meta Jacket as the prison camp's once again coming up. There'll be no opportunity for Greymane to be here if they want to get on this, but they're going to start by getting this boss. So the real question, do they push with the boss, get the keep for sure, or do they head up to the other boss and then push with that boss, or do they head to the prison camp? And we're going to see Greymane and Lucio starting off in the bot lane, trying to clear this up so that they can get damage onto it as soon as possible. Looks like we're going to split. We're going to see Orphea, maybe not actually. Siege Camp's going to get picked up by both teams, but that's going to send Jaina and ETC now down to try to help this. Boss is sitting at half health. Now that we see all those heroes, Full Meta Jacket says, all right, let's do this. And let's actually check perspective-wise. What do they see? Okay, they don't see anything now, so that's all finished. But let's check in on the other side. What do they see? They see the 3 heroes there on the prison camp. And are they going to just give it? They are down 16, so they're trying to get those 16s. And Anubrak sitting here waiting. We see the danger pings. They have an idea. They know they're there. They're all kinds of setup. There's the bush check. Impale going out. Didn't hit anybody, so great play there to make sure that they didn't go into a danger zone. 10 seconds left on the channel. There's the Entomb in onto Deathwing. He's going to hit the Bellowing Roar, though. It gets 3. Crushing Jaws pulling 4 of them in. The sound barrier going out kept him alive for a little bit, and it's going to be a triple kill going the other direction. And 0.8 seconds on the channel for VileFin Mrgles. And they're going to get started now onto channeling the other direction. And I don't think there's anything that Full Meta Jacket can do about it. There is a boss available in the top lane. The lanes are pushed in pretty decently. Lyric's clearing up the top lane so that this cavalry will get out as far as possible. The other 2 are in the mid lane, though. Or not in the mid lane, but in the middle of the lane. Even with that Reaver pressure. Now, the Reaver is going to push it back a little bit here, but it's still there. That beat drop was amazing, says Ektar. And here comes, again, 0.8 seconds. They were so close to getting that cavalry, and now they're just going to have to defend it. They're going to get this siege camp, which will help them. And top lane right now is pushed so far back that they probably can start with bot lane. And they probably should start with bot lane, honestly. They should start here, clean this up, make it to mid, make it to top. That way they're close to the active boss. It would mean that VileFin Mrgles wouldn't be able to pick up a boss on top of their cavalry. But we'll see how this turns out. The rotation's coming in, looking for potentially this Orphea. Greymane dives in, but the Leap of Faith pulling Orphea out of the Entomb. Crushing Jaws hits 2, but didn't have the follow-up. Ring of Frost does also land onto 2. Light Bomb going out. We got the Cocoon onto the Leoric. I was going to say no deaths as they chase down the Anduin. Do get that secured kill. In the meantime, Deathwing here is going to clear out the bot lane camp. Middle going to be taken out here in a moment. But that's going to leave top lane for the push. And as I mentioned earlier, the boss is here. So, boss coming in. The level 20s are available for full meta jacket. Let's take a look. What do we have? So we've got Eldritch Conduit, so she's going to get that additional spell power when she uses the Chaos. By the way, this is not done. This is still going. Still 18 seconds until Anduin's here. And I think that if you're full meta jacket, you just kind of let that be. So we got the rewind here for a Nubrak. He'll be able to stun more often. The upgraded Thornwood, I don't even know what this does. Forest Wrath. 2 stacks of Toxin. And additional range. And increased vision. That's very interesting. I don't even know that I've seen that since she first came out. I haven't seen it. What else do we got? We got Arrival of a God, giving Deathwing all of his level 7 talents. And this is a cheeky play, but I think they know that Leoric's down in the bot. Well, they don't see him now, but so they know that he's coming in. But Deathwing does have Bellowing Roar, so they can't put him off the point. Oh, Deathwing, you got to be on the point for this to work, though. Well, there goes the Crushing the Jaws, the Cocoon going out as well. We're going to see Modus Trollin fallen. Here comes the Fear. There's the Fear. They do get the point, but they've already lost 2 heroes, make it 3. Stony very low, but it doesn't matter. Deathwing going to be the next to fall. I think maybe that was the wrong order. I think the Cataclysm probably either needed to come out earlier or needed to wait until after the Fear went out to disrupt the team. But that's level 20 now for both sides here. VileFin Mrgles gonna push in with this boss. And there's a prison camp available too. But with a boss here, and it's pretty full health. Even with just the 1 fort down and a Greymane and Jaina, I think they are able to take this down with this boss. Not very common to see that. But even with the 40 armor, I mean, the boss takes care of that difference. Here comes the stage dive just for a little extra show. And it's going to be game number 1 going over to VileFin Mrgles. All right, so VileFin Mrgles getting their first victory of the season. And you know what? Good on them. They played exactly what they needed to at the end of the game. They stuck it out. They got to that level 20 and were able to succeed in this game number 1. Just going to show these talents here for a brief moment and then going to go into a brief commercial. I got to get Alpha outside because it's been a little bit too long. Alrighty then. Gonna go ahead and send us over to an NGS Patreon break and then go into the commercial. So we'll be back in just a minute.
A king has fallen. A father. A friend. A warrior. Defender of the Alliance. He was a beacon of hope. A leader without measure. A man who would never accept defeat. He was our shield against the storm. Wherever he has gone, Varian Rin will remain a hero. Always.
We're back. Welcome back, everybody. I love HOTS, says Jim Bobulary. Fair enough. HOTS is a lot of fun. Yo, let's go, Mrgles, says Dershane Train. Oh, apparently we had some incorrect information on the band, so let's get that updated. So they banned Dragonshire and Battlefield of Eternity. Let me fix that, and then I will... Let's see, Dragonshire and Battlefield. Okay. All right, so let's show the map bans since that's been updated. Map bans from Full Meta Jacket were the Braxis Holdout and Tomb of the Spider Queen. From VileFin, it was actually Battlefield of Eternity, not Infernal Shrines, and Dragonshire. Game number 1 was on Altrac Pass. It was picked and won by VileFin Mrgles. Game number 2 is going to be Infernal Shrines. And I believe that was selected by VileFin as well. Looks like that is the case. So we'll pop that up. All right. So with that 1 point so far here, that means that our teams are now tied up in the standings. 1-1. I'm not sure. Is this the last game for these teams? Let me take a quick peek at that. Let's see. West. Let's see. So Full Meta Jacket actually does have another match left. Actually, they have 2 others. VileFin has 1 more after this. So in theory, they could even potentially... No, they're out of the playoffs. But they could pass Team Rainbow Strike Go if they wanted. They could do it. All right, let's see. Should probably write down who they picked for the last game, so I've got that. Looks like our teams are just about ready. Need you and Tom swapped. That's true. Got to get the teams on the right side. We have a super hyperactive dog here. Batmanger, didn't you say for 3-way tie in B West, Salt Scale had to 2-0 everyone? Not everybody, no. So for B East, it's not B West. For B East, Salt Scale would have to get 1 point against Phoenix Rising Ruby. They'd have to get 2 points. They'd have to get 2-0 over their other 2 teams in order to have a 3-way tie. All right, here we go to Infernal Shrines. Let's get into the game here, into the draft. So Deathwing is mortal. But you know, I mean, that was, most of that game was in Full Meta Jacket's possession. They had a lot of the control that game. It wasn't until level 20 and a single boss play that ultimately led to VileFin Mrgles succeeding. So if you're Full Meta Jacket, at this point, you just gotta kind of shake it off, right? So probably no 3-way tie, you're saying? There's did Salt Scale not get a 2-0 tonight? Who did they play tonight? I honestly, I wasn't paying attention. I didn't look at who was playing tonight. So Salt Scale played against Demonic Entity Within. So how did that go? As we get the Greymane Kael'thas from the Full Meta Jacket and Oriel Deathwing from VileFin Mrgles. Infernal Shrines. Got it. Okay. And now we are all caught up. We got our first pick coming up. Who's it gonna be? Who is it gonna be? Last time it was Deathwing. This time it's not gonna be. Is it gonna be Anduin? Oh, it's gonna be ETC. Makes sense. And there we go with the Johanna. I think she was banned out game 1, wasn't she? She was banned out game 1. So Tom Jin saying, that's fine, you take my ETC. I'm gonna take the Johanna. See, now I gotta go look. Did the thing get reported? Salt Scale. I have no way to know. Results. I don't see it. All right, so it hasn't been reported. So you're just gonna tease me over here. Ah! Johanna and Alex Straza. Interesting, interesting. So Stony picking up Alex Straza here. So this is one of her better maps. It's also potentially the opportunity to go into a chokeall. So there's the Anduin that I mentioned from last game, but now we're gonna see an Alarak. And that is, ooh, that is spooky. Going into Alex Straza having the circles, she's gonna have to be really careful about where she places those. And we're gonna see a Li Ming. Gonna be the ban here from VileFin Mrgles. It's alright, it's alright. Again, when you've got those AoE circles trying to keep the enemy team from throwing big orbs at you. I think Li Ming's probably not as Modan. Probably not as big of a threat as like a Jaina, potentially. Like Jaina with the Alarak and the ETC seems like to me, the obvious pick. Which is why they're gonna take it. I like the pick. Alright, so no Cho'Gall, obviously. We got Hanzo, we got Jaina. So pretty good wave clear, good shrine clear. We got the AoE healing from Alex Straza. In middle of game 3. Gotcha. Okay. That explains why you didn't answer. Thanks. Fair enough. And it's going to be Dahaka and Lunara. Going back into that Lunara from game number 1 here. Let's see, who am I missing? Oh, nobody. I got them all. Last pick from Smoke, so we're looking for a solo laner. Is it going to be the Sonya? Could it be... it's not going to be that. I think Sonya might be the right call. Or Yrel? I don't know. Part of me is like, I hate Mal'Ganis. He's a pain in the neck. Make him burn. But then I'm like, ETC has ways to interrupt him. Alarak has ways to interrupt him. Anduin can root him. Dahaka can drag him. Lunara can leap over his head. And Lunara's got abolished magic. So I don't know. I feel like the threat is significantly lessened having the team that Mal'Ganis is facing. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's get up our poll in chat. See who you guys think's gonna win, because it doesn't matter what I think. All right, who do you think's gonna win game number 2? Is it going to be on the left, full meta jacket? Or is it gonna be on the right, VileFin Mrgles? Introducing our teams on the left. Full meta jacket, we got Juggerob playing the Dahaka. It's going to be Lunara, played by Barber. Gunslinger, playing the Alarak. Modus Trolling on the Anduin. And Runtime Logic on the ETC. And over here to the right for VileFin Mrgles, we got Lawlins on the Hanzo. Tomjin on the Johanna. Stony on the Alex Straza. Mr. Sad Panda on the Jaina. And it's going to be Smoke playing the Mal'Ganis. Alright, let's see. Good news, we don't have a banned talent. Love to see it. Time to feed, in fact, the pickup. It's going to be Hanzo going into the Redemption build. Also feels a little bit dangerous to me with the ETC Alarak option here. Drag just missing the Hanzo. But also ETC having that face melt is going to be able to knock people out of those circles too. So Once again, I said at the beginning when they first picked the Alexstrasza, but they're going to have to be really careful about the positioning of the healing circles. The abundance there, and that's, of course, why Alexstrasza went into the Q build. Oh, big silence onto 3. Johanna's going to be the only one close enough for them to get continual damage on, but is able to use that Iron Skin. Also has Hold Your Ground, so additional shielding more often. Going back into the Lingering Chill for Jaina. On the left, going once again into that bold strategy. We've got the Telekinesis upgrade as well for Ruthless Momentum, allowing for Alarak's Telekinesis to be much more often. Prog Rock there. We also have the, what is this again? Natural Perspective, giving that vision of targets anytime she's got a Nature's Toxin on them. And it looks like full meta jacket. Everybody voting in favor of full meta jacket on this one. I have to agree. I felt like last game that they had the better overall, not necessarily the better overall draft, because there were a lot of ways to counter the Deathwing, but I felt like the value was there, and they unfortunately lost one play at the end and lost the game because of it. This game, I feel, is very much, you know, in their favor here. They've got a lot of CC potential here, so we'll see if that continues. Once we start seeing Dragon Queens and Hanzo is able to pick up his ultimate, that may change pretty significantly in the other direction. Because we do have some squishy heroes in the Lunara, even really in ETC. Every time I hear that punish, for whatever reason, I feel like I'm hearing the Blessed Shield come out. But it's not, it's just one. Shaman Camp gonna be picked up here by VileFin Mrgles. They'll have that active in the lane now, as the first Punisher of the game is becoming active. It's going to be an Arcane Punisher, and right now it's full meta jacket on the point first. Both teams very close in XP. Even with that Shaman Camp, we're going to see almost identical when they pick up level 6. But Dahaka is up, still in that lane, cleaning up the Shaman Camp. Johanna's going to get pretty low here. Oh my goodness, the Telekinesis into 3 once again, just getting so much value. Dahaka's gonna head back up, work on clearing up the, well, finish clearing up the lane, I guess. Does not have Brush Stalker. He used that as Alexstrasza popped her ultimate, or not her ultimate, her Dragon Queen. So he's actually gonna have to walk in, but it's not gonna matter, as this first objective looks like it's gonna go over in favor of VileFin Mrgles. In the bot lane, though, we've got Lunara making quick work of this lane. Has Blossom Swell here, so a little bit of a difference in the build, not going into that Nature's Calling here. ETC baiting the Punisher over the wall. Alarak, though, looking for a target. Wasn't able to find anybody that was going to provide any real value. Did get a lot of damage onto the Jaina there, but she's going to get healed up nice and full by the Alexstrasza. Bot lane now missing the Lunara as she went up to the top to help get that Shaman Camp going in their favor for full meta jacket. As Mrgles tried to clean up. Try to keep them in the XP game. They're a little bit behind, not too far. Kind of dancing around with the Alarak now. Johanna and Mrgles, like by themselves, are not enough, I don't think, to get this kill onto the Alarak. So he will inevitably walk out. Got the slide with the knockback here. And it's going to be Echo Petal for ETC, so he's going to get a little bit of AoE damage whenever he uses an ability. Now this is a 5-on-4 as Hanzo is up in the top lane trying to deal with that Shaman Camp, but it's all of the blue side that's low, even with their 5-man push here. Next Punisher is going to be in the bot lane. It's going to be a Mortar Punisher. That'll come up probably about the same time as these teams start hitting their level 10s. Currently, full meta jacket just a little bit ahead in that race. Now Alexstrasza really far forward here. ETC's gonna knock back, is gonna get that stun, looking for the additional follow-up there. Oh, they missed the detainment strike. Oh, but they get it anyways. Anduin with the chastise, or maybe it was the divine star, I don't know. But do they make it out with the ETC? They do, just barely there. The condemn just not quite close enough, as ETC able to get that power slide out of it. So first blood going over to full meta jacket just before hitting level 10. We do have Hanzo completing his redemption stacks as well. We also have that subdue talent for Johanna, so look for those big 80% slows as now the ultimate's online for full meta jacket. They've got that Thornwood Vine, the Mosh Pit, Counter Strike, and the Isolation from Dahaka. Now it looks like Anduin hasn't decided what he wants to take yet. They have a Mal'Ganis interrupt, technically an Alexstrasza interrupt. They have Johanna interrupts. Like, I think that Salvation would be a tough call hitting this one. Like, just go ahead and pull the light bomb. It's gonna happen anyways. Nice silence from the Alarak. Ring of Frost coming out, the Salvation coming up, but just not able to get that off before the death coming in. ETC gonna be the second to fall. So it's going to be a 2-for-1 trade, at least so far here. Mal'Ganis still in the lane, so this is still 3v3. They get the isolation onto Jaina, but she's able to walk out. Johanna using her Iron Skin with a little bit of Lunara damage coming in as well. So this is still an uneven fight now. But Full Meta Jacket's going to get at least a few points here. They get 25% of the shrine cleared before VileFin Mrgles can get onto the point. But with Hanzo, they're still going to do a lot of damage here. So they'll be able to burn this down relatively quickly. But ETC's coming in, the silence going out onto Mal'Ganis. Johanna going into the backline has that subdue here. Here's a big mosh. All 5 members, can they get it? Nobody died! Okay, 1 kill, 2 kill, 3 kills! Mal'Ganis gonna make it out. The Salvation coming out this time. Johanna trying to make it around, but the telekinesis, there's the drag. A quad kill set up from Runtime Logic with the God Mosh. And that's gonna be a Punisher going over to Full Meta Jacket. Lane getting closer to that wall, but it's stalled out there for just a brief moment. We get that telekinesis stun onto the Mal'Ganis. There's the face melt as well. Ring of Frost coming out. I feel like we just saw that. Must have been 80 seconds ago. Punisher time. It's on the bottom fort. We see the danger pings. ETC's gonna get the power slide, the root onto, or I'm sorry, the silence onto Johanna. That's not a root, but there's the life binder. Going to keep Johanna nice and healthy, right back to full health, as level 13s are available for Full Meta Jacket. Now the knockback and the Punisher MVP coming in, sending the redemption stacks down. And now Punisher's gonna get a little bit of damage. It's not gonna be too much. Oh my goodness, Alarak doing work! Getting the Jaina. Said, hey, I see a Jaina over here. Let me help you. Come join us. And now there's a pretty decent wave here. Both damage are dead on the side of VileFin Mrgles. Full Meta Jacket has all kinds of momentum here. But Hanzo is back. Jaina will be up soon. She will have Ring of Frost here. Johanna, though, is very low. Gotta be a little bit careful there. So almost all of the keep down. How much damage has this guy left? 3,000, basically. May as well be 3,000. Dahaka zipping on out. Gonna find himself a Jaina here in a second, possibly. Nah, she's good. She's good. And she's riding her little raccoon. Those little mounts are awesome. So Hanzo's gonna stick around in the bot lane. He's gonna make use of that Sonic Arrow to keep vision for himself and make sure that nobody's sneaking up around those steam vents. So the real question here is, ETC is in an aggressive bush. What's he looking for? He doesn't have any teammates to help him. The Shaman Camp is going to get picked up by Anduin and Lunara over here, so that'll be out on the map soon. I wonder, could they just... Once the team shows up here, I feel like they could just come down here and knock down this bottom keep. But instead, ETC's going in, he's going in hard. They've got level 16s. We're going to see the full rotations in, so let's put these down for a moment so we can watch this here. Mal'Ganis getting silenced in the backline. It's going to get the Carrion Swarm. Dragon Arrow coming in. ETC's going to get the Leap of Faith out. Burrow being used so the Dahaka can get out. And I think that's about the best that Full Meta Jacket could have hoped for out of that. I think that, you know, that was a little bit too aggressive of a play. So they're going to work on getting some other camps. But again, I mean, with seeing all 5 members up here, I think they could have taken that 10 seconds, gone over and knocked that keep up. Keep out, not keep up. Yikes. But maybe they can do that anyways. They'll have catapults occasionally in the bot lane, so if they can stall out this top lane shrine for any length of time, this catapult will eventually make it there. But it's not going to, because Johanna Jaina recognize that's a problem. But with that rotation, oh no, oh, the mosh pit onto Alexstrasza on top of it, making sure she can't get that life binder. All the cooldowns were used to kill Hanzo, but it doesn't matter. That telekinesis at level 1, that ruthless momentum, giving Alarak the ability to pull Alexstrasza back in. So that's a double kill, and they're just going to leave Dahaka on the point there. Salvation somehow not interrupted by the sleep. Power Slide coming in onto the 2. This is a 4 versus 3 here with no healer. So it was a little danger of a play for VileFin, but they are going to defend their fort. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we got Dahaka sitting at 18 so far. Halfway on the Punisher. And Alexstrasza, along with Hanzo, now on their way into this fight. We have no Mosh Pit, we have no Carrion Swarm. So most of the ults are up. Ring of Frost and Salvation are also down. Mal'Ganis is going to try to put the ETC to sleep. Alarak in the bot... Well, not in the bot, on the bottom of your screen, being chased by Johanna, but she's not able to do any real damage to him here. Drag going out, landing onto Mal'Ganis as the Punisher just about completed. Nice slow coming from Johanna. There's the Blessed Shield, I think. It's going to be Hanzo, however, falling first. Dragon Queen is going to be popped, and we have the 39 skeletal defenders as Lunara will finish the point. And it's 30 seconds until Hanzo's back, so this is entirely on the shoulders of Jaina to find some way to defend this, but it's not going to be here. Right? It's not going to be here? Okay. Punisher sitting at a good, healthy 93% and getting set up for what could be the end play of the game here. The way that they've been punishing some of these things, like that one right there, getting that pull, stun, silence, and a little bit of Anduin damage. There goes the Mosh. Not even sure what was after. We did get that bottom fort, though. That bottom keep is down. The silence going out onto Hanzo and Mal'Ganis. The roots coming in as well, though, but it doesn't look like they're going to head any heroes. Salvation's going to be popped, giving them the heal and also a little bit of protect there. As the bottom keep has catapults coming in. Now, the root coming out is going to be the kill onto Mal'Ganis. He's not able to get that Carrion Swarm down. With Mal'Ganis and Jaina down, they're going to leave. They want to get level 20s before they push for the core. I think they probably could have done it. There are a couple of catapults down here, and they were down to Mal'Ganis. So I think that could have been a core call there. That's okay. They're setting up a bit of a bush gank. And Jaina's not too far away, so she's got to be a little bit careful here. Shaman camp going to be picked up. We got the siege camp picked up here in the mid lane, the aggressive side for full meta jacket. Now Jaina's showing in the bottom. ETC's going to come up. They've got level 20. There's the knockback, looking for the Alexstrasza, the telekinesis. They're gonna get the Alexstrasza. Ring of Frost doesn't hit any heroes, and with level 20s, go win the game, guys. You have so many advantages. They have no healer, and you've got level 20 talents. All right, so now we've got the Shaman camp. Now we're gonna try to win the game. I think, maybe. Maybe? Are we soaking XP? Is that what we're doing? Alright, now the Shaman camp's coming. Core calling out that it's under attack. Big power slide in onto the Hanzo. Knocked just dead. Just into the root dead. Tomjin, the next, has the iron skin. Mosh Pit only hitting onto the Mal'Ganis, but it was enough. And Lifebinder is going to go out, keep the Johanna at full health. ETC getting fairly low here, but it's going to be Anduin doing a great job of keeping the team alive, and the core slowly starting to go down. We do have the Dragon Queen there, but they get a kill onto Jaina. Alarak doing so much work, and the silence as well now here with the contagion at level 20. We're going to see right now that core going down to 0%. And ladies and gentlemen, we got a game 3. Full meta jacket coming back after a 1-game loss to even up this score. And we'll find out. Where are we going? What are we doing? 17 kills to 2. This was not a very close game. They had all of the CC and all the potential out of that Alarak to score kills. D hots. These are, so this is Division D. No, it's not. This D was last game. This is Division C. So the bulk of these players are probably like gold and plat, I would think. Some of them probably silver. So yeah, probably silver to plat. The overall series, Nexus Gaming series, is a variety of players, anywhere from Division D, where you'll see legitimate Bronze 5 here players, all the way up to Heroic, who are teams that, you know, many of those teams are participating in Div S. And the rankings there go from D to A, and then Heroic right above that. So just to give you an idea there. $162 sadism, huh? Crazy. Alrighty, well, you know what? Let's take a look at our standings, shall we? As that will update, give full meta jacket an additional point now. So currently 2 points to 1. Full meta jacket just slightly ahead of the VileFin Mrgles. Whoever wins this next game, this will be their first match victory of the season. Alrighty, haven't heard back from the teams yet, so gonna go ahead and just take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
There is much for us to settle.
Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to the Nexus Gaming series. We are all tied up 1-1. Full Meta Jacket taking the victory in game number 2 after VileFin Mrgles in game number 1 getting their victory on Alterac Pass. As you can tell, we are now in VileSky Foundry, and it was the map selection of Full Meta Jacket. So we're going to see the ETC ban, and you know what? Fair. Because ETC had some absolutely stellar moshes in that game. And VileFin saying no, we're not dealing with that. And just as rightfully so, we're gonna get rid of the Alterac. Alterac and ETC did so much for Full Meta Jacket that game. It was absolutely bonkers. So banning those two heroes out, saying, hey, show me what else you got. You've proven that you can win with that. And we're going to see Oriole and Deathwing banned out for the last game. 2 for 1 for Salt. All right, well, there you go, Batman. There might still be... I'll have to think about that. There might still be a way for a 3-way tie, but I don't think so. Tomjin gonna be pulling out that Johanna. And we're gonna go into the Kael'thas. And what else is it gonna be? Is it gonna be Lunara again? Nah. Alright, Anduin. Let's see. All right, so Kael'thas, VileSky Foundry, a control point map. Kael'thas gets a lot of value. Anduin can pull people out that get into danger, that go a little bit too far. Johanna can stay on the point forever. So, you know, so far, pretty solid start to the team. Stony coming in with the Stukov. I really like the Stukov. We're also going to go into Sonya here. So, again, these are point control heroes. Making it so that, I mean, that silence from Stukov is really solid. 0-2 is our record. Who are you talking about, Shogun? I don't actually know. Li Ming's going to be the 3rd and final ban for Full Meta Jacket. No long range bombs coming in. No Wave of Force interrupt. And our final ban of the night. It's gonna be El Diablo. Haven't seen Diablo tonight, but they don't want to deal with that. That's fine, that's fair. Could we see an Uther? Uther main tank into the Sonya? That could work. Could work. Although it'd stink going into the Stukov. They need to find a way to get to Stukov, and Muradin will do it. Greymane will help. Sonya, Johanna, and Stukov. Yeah, there we go. So while we're waiting on this next pick here, tomorrow night... So I think there are a couple of matches available for NGS, so hopefully those will get picked up. But tomorrow night, here, I'll be running the Div S match. And I don't remember who's actually playing. I'll have to look that up. It's going to be Tychus and Jaina. So going back into the Jaina once again. keeping it simple for me. It's a pretty decent damage here. If they can lock down the Murden, like if he tries to dive in, then Tychus can just shred him. Last pick here, it's going to be our solo laner against Sonya. It's going to be, once again, going into that Dahaka. Dahaka. Okay, looks good. Oh, that's the wrong one. All right, it's the final game. Who do you think is going to win this game? Is it going to be full meta jacket coming back with the reverse sweep, or is it going to be VileFin Mrgles? Vote in chat right over there. Hit that drop down arrow. Select the team you think's going to win or that you want to win. Hit the vote button so that your vote counts. And let's get our teams introduced. Game number 3 between Full Meta Jacket and VileFin Mrgles on Volskaya Foundry. On the left, Full Meta Jacket. It's going to be Greymane played by Barber. Gunslinger playing the Kael'thas. We got Runtime Logic on the Murden, Modus Trollin on the Anduin, and Jugger Rob on Dahaka. And over here for the VileFins, we've got Stony playing the Stukov. It's going to be Lawlins on the Tychus, Tom Jin playing the Johanna, Mr. Sad Panda playing the Jaina, and Smoke on the Sonya. I wanted to say Sylvanas. Clearly not Sylvanas. Now, they both know they're here, right? Like, I'm pretty sure they could see each other just kind of standing around. All right, starting off, we got Lingering Chill. We got Perfect Storm. Looking for those extra smashes out of the Murden here. Going very offensive instead of into the defensive talents. Juggerab could be in a little bit of danger. Gets the Leap of Faith. But the grenade not quite enough to finish off the Dino Toy. We also have the Laws of Hope for Johanna and Lurking Blow? Low Blow for Stukov, giving him that additional damage when they're low on health. And it's going to be Sonya's version of Reinforce. Tough as nails, so being able to store up charges of that physical armor. And as she's using her abilities, it recharges that timer faster. So 50-50 on the votes, as you would expect for these teams. It's going to be Mana Addict for Kael'thas. He's going to be looking for those globes, currently sitting at 1 globe. Make it 2. The Gildan Cocktail ability here, Perfect Aim, giving him that extra range on the splash. Bold strategy for Anduin. And Tissue regeneration there for the Dahaka. Forgot to vote, but I think this one is going to Full Meta Jacket, says Zalath. I'm actually a little bit surprised that they aren't engaging, like, harder into this. Because, yeah, you have Johanna, but Dahaka could just burrow right up. Speaking of Dahaka, oh, these guys are doing fine. There's the burrow to avoid the whirlwind. So good there. But yeah, I mean, they could have pushed in on this and Dahaka would have just come up and made it a 5v4 and would have been fine. And we'll see now VileFin Mrgles having already picked up their fortification camp, as both teams did. VileFin now going to work on their siege camp. Now, Johanna is the hardest one to get off this other than Deathwing here. Barber might have to drop that turret here soon. Did disengage away, but is going to fall now. The turret on the ground. They are going to pick it up, though. And Anduin's going to drop it. That was a 5v4 that just went very much in the wrong direction. Fair enough. You know what? You got to support your home team, right? Like, you gotta be there for the teams that are in your... Not in your division, but your... organization. Rotation from Tychus coming down. Dahaka just barely missing on the burrow. But that's okay, Batmanger. That just means that the votes are now tied. Level 7's picked up first for VileFin Mrgles. We do have Tychus going into the rhythm. Or in the rhythm? In the rhythm. Yeah, in the rhythm. Also, Sonya going spin to win. Wants to be able to get rid of any of those roots and get extra life drain here, especially on this map. The Condemn coming out did not interrupt Stukov, so I don't actually know what did. Maybe a gravity lapse. Tongue going out onto Stukov. This time there is a follow-up from Muradin with that Stormbolt, but Stukov's going to be able to make it out. The silence coming out and that low blow getting work done as Greymane going to fall. VileFin looking to take this point and get themselves the first protector of the game. Where's Sonya going? I think Sonya had it in her mind that she would just go pick up that siege camp, or that fortification camp, rather. But that's not going to work for them. It's already gone. Protector doesn't allow you to go get those camps while it's on the map. With the Protector coming into the top lane, they're able to get out the one tower. They're not quite able to get the healing well just yet, but the Protector still has a fair bit of health. And there it goes. The Haka getting that tongue onto Sonya, gonna pull her toward those towers, but not quite enough damage from that to get her get the Dahaka that kill. And with 10 seconds left on the timer here, Protector's just gonna come down, try to get whatever he can onto the tower. It's not a whole lot. And Jaina in danger there, gets the drag, but she's gonna go ahead and drop that Blizzard onto the wave. Got a little bit of damage out there as well. Currently sitting at 6k out of the 15 necessary for the ice block. Sonya going over here to pick up their siege camp, their fortification camp rather. It looked like maybe Dahaka was thinking about it, but Dahaka doesn't have the greatest ability to clear those either. So we'll see. Sonya is going to pick theirs up as Greymane and Anduin are working on theirs. Let's see. Chill's saying, I don't think that Full Meta Jacket can get past the strong front line that VileFin has. So we'll have to see with the ultimates. Now we're going to get that leap from Sonya. Ring of Frost from Jaina. The Commandeer Odin for Tychus. The Massive Shove for the Stukov. And Blessed Shield for Johanna. And this is a super dangerous play to try to take down a man, essentially, as Dahaka's down below. There's the leap onto Kael'thas. The leap of faith coming in. Gunslinger's going to get out of there with about 15 health. But Muradin's not so lucky. So, yeah, like, trying to take that fight down a man and down level 10s was, let's go with questionable. It was of questionable judgment, I think. So far, no forts down. Minimal general structural damage here with level 10s currently. Dahaka, though, is getting slowed by Jaina here. Gonna go ahead and burrow away from the Blizzard and ultimately dodging that silence, but didn't matter. Siege Camp is going to get some pretty far forward value here. They get the tower down, but in the mid lane, they're going to be able to bait out one of the turrets. I think that's all they have. Where is Dahaka? I don't know where Dahaka is. There's Dahaka. So yeah, so no turrets on the side of Full Meta Jacket. VileFin has the Biotic Emitter and one turret. I don't think they've got any abilities to increase bonus damage or anything like that. Like, Sonya gets that reduced damage, or rather, I guess it's increased damage too. But there's the Ring of Frost along with that Condemn, and it's going to be a dead Muradin. And I gotta say, this looks like a completely different team. VileFin in the first game looked a little bit disjointed, like they couldn't quite get what they wanted. and they won by, you know, a bit of a throw, ultimately, as I think that ultimately that game was very much in hand for Full Metal Jacket right until the end. Game number 2 we saw was very much in favor of Full Metal Jacket. So this is quite the turnaround here from VileFin to be looking so strong. That said, we've got a pretty big push in the bot lane here, as the team basically saying, yeah, you can have the Protector, we're going to actually just push here. Was that a raw ring, Ektar says. Aren't they all raw rings? I mean, really? To be fair, there's not a ton of setup for Jaina. Like, Blessed Shield's not that long of a cast, so... or a stun, rather. But just in time, we're going to see the cavalry arrive, as Full Metal Jacket's going to make their way onto the point. Tom Jen going to pull off. And now the Siege Camp coming in. Level 13's available here for VileFin, and they're at 99%, so they've got some time. They're going to pop their ultimates here, as the massive shove going out onto Mrgles, going to push him into the corner there. And Dahaka pretty well needs to come up and help out, right? I mean, looks like they're going to get that Protector. Never mind. Alright, so are they going to head to bot lane to prep for the next Protector? And it looks like that's going to be the case, at least with the Protector, as the rest of the team kind of hanging out up here. It is Sonya and Jaina hanging out in that Protector. Root catches onto Johanna, but she's fine. She doesn't mind. Didn't even use Iron Skin. And Mrgles trying to harass the backline, trying to keep Stukov from standing still for too long, as the Protector is starting to make its way onto the healing well here now. And even Kael'thas using his Phoenix just to try to get as much damage onto this Protector as possible. Get it knocked out. And the full rotation from VileFin coming in, trying to help get what pressure they can. The Protector doesn't have a lot of time or health at this point. And we're actually going to see here Dahaka heading up, gathering a little bit of soak, and then coming back down. Maybe looking for a fight here. The Johanna pops the Unstoppable. The Silence going out onto Tychus here with the blind. Leap rather, coming in onto the Salvation. The runtime logic is getting very low. It is able to go ahead and back away. But Commandeer Odin's going to get things started on this bottom fort. It's not going to get too far, though. They don't have any minions. The minions provide so much value. They're not just shots to take, but the minions actually do double damage to structures. So they're actually pretty powerful overall. We can see, you know, each of those attacks bringing it down just a slight bit. Now 16s are up for VileFin, and they're going to take the opportunity to get onto this healings camp, the support camp. So they've got, once again, another item. That's now 2 biotic emitters and a turret. Camp is going to get picked up by Full Metal Jacket, and you know what? Couldn't have possibly been any closer. As the team rotated in, right as that was being picked up, Dahaka's trying to keep this lane pushed up in the bot lane as well, so that ultimately this next control point, maybe they even have a fort down. Who knows? Yeah, so Hector, I'm certainly not saying they're completely raw, but it's not a long setup there for a Condemn, for example. Condemn's like a, what, quarter-second stun or something like that? It's so incredibly low. I guess I'd have to go on to Johanna's page. And here comes level 16 now for Full Metal Jacket. So they've gotten a lot of pressure onto these walls, but so have the VileFin Mrgles. right? I mean, top lane is pressured even with this minion wave now. Mid lane has no wall. Bot lane has no wall. And this is pretty well the case as well in the other direction, right? Except for the top fort. But here comes the forced issue. Control point C coming up. Neither team really even close to 20, so this is going to all take place before level 20s are available. And I gotta say, I hate being the defender on this control point. The conveyors really make it difficult to get anything done, to get where you want to be. It also makes it a little bit easier for people to engage in onto you because those conveyors go into the middle there. But with the team showing in the mid lane, full meta jacket is, we're gonna see the rotation from VileFin to get right onto that bottom fort. Here comes the Ring of Frost. It's gonna hit onto Anduin, but he's got the Salvation. Blessed Shield going out to interrupt that. Lawlen's getting super low here in the back, but has the biotic emitter. Doesn't matter, is going to fall. But Mrgles in the silence is able to get out, so far that's just the one kill. Could be more though. Sonya coming in, spinning to win as Gunslinger taking enough damage, but getting a little bit of healing. Greymane diving in, looking for that Stukov. Has Stukov very low, but so is the Sonya. Gets stunned by the Stormbolt, but she's able to walk away. And now the channel begins for full meta jacket. Tychus will make it back before this is complete, so they will be able to fight once more for this control point. But both teams now with a structure down, and both of them are in the bot lane where this next Punisher's coming. Let's put these away for a moment, because I sense a fight is coming. You see the danger pings. Johanna's coming around. Gets a big 4-man condemn. Not quite able to get the punish. Uses the unstoppable, but it's Greymane going down first. Avatar being used. Kael'thas trying to get out. Has the salvation, but ends up walking out of it. Mr. Sad Panda, though, has a dwarf toss coming. But it's going to be the dwarf toss out, and now Anduin having to run away as well. Tahaka already out, but that's going to be a 4, maybe not, 3-for-nothing trade here, and that's going to give now VileFin Mrgles control of this point and should give them a protector. These death timers are long enough that I don't think there's anything, and they were already kind of high, they were like 42%. I don't think there's anything that full meta jacket can do. So they're just going to have to defend at their base. Possibly down level 20s. So there's our protector. Mr. Sad Panda going in along with the Sonya.
Blue team has taken control of a protector.
And here it comes. Level 20 just around the corner. Probably just need to get the towers here and should get them enough. 9 kills to 1 in favor of VileFin Mrgles here. Can they get the keep down? And if they get the keep down, is there an opportunity to get a kill or two? At 9 kills, I think the answer is probably yes. But we'll see. Keep is going to go down. There's the Odin. And they're looking to keep going on to the core as they do have level 20s here. Punisher is going to get started on the core. Still a lot of shielding though. Tomjin in the back here on Johanna is having to pull back, so it looks like that's not going to be enough to take out the core. Mr. Sad Panda going to Ring of Frost, get a triple ring here. The leap coming out, along with now the silence is in a double kill onto Dahaka and Greymane. The leap of faith pulling the Mrgles out, uses the stone form. Is it enough? These health bars on the side of VileFin are still fairly low. Getting the stun onto the Stukov. They need more. They get the silence pulled out, the condemn pulling in Gunslinger. That's going to be the kill onto Kael'thas. And with just Anduin and Muradin, I think they might have done it. It's still 30 seconds before any real damage is on the table here. And they do. VileFin Mrgles coming back and getting themselves their first match victory of the season. And in a convincing fashion. Last game was 17-2 in favor of Full Meta Jacket. This game 1-12 in favor of VileFin Mrgles. They did a fantastic job on this map. Let's go ahead and see if we can get connected with our captain. For smoke. See if we can get Smoke or somebody in here. Oh, hey, you're here. That didn't take long.
I am here.
Welcome. So, congratulations on your victory tonight here. It's gotta feel good, right? How's the team feeling? What was the energy like after getting that W?
After the last W, it was pretty chill. Actually, we've kind of had a bit of a mellow approach this season, so we weren't really, letting our losing streak get to us a lot of the times. It felt good. Everything just finally fell into place.
So, talking about that, what did you guys do differently tonight that allowed you to ultimately succeed? Or was it just literally, hey, we practiced and we just finally got better, right? Like, how did that go for you guys?
I think it wasn't so much practice, and I mean, just to be honest, like a lot of our roster is like different time zones and like work and everything somebody has late shifts, somebody has early shifts. So a lot of the times like we're not able to practice as much, which is unfortunate. And tonight, I don't know, it felt the same as it always does, but I think we took advantage of our we took advantage of our advantages, and a lot less mistakes. Like we've kind of slowly, after all these losses, seen what we're lacking, and I think just a little more awareness and a little more communication, I would say, at least on our end.
Sure. So let's start with game number 1. You guys are honestly losing most of this game. And then you guys get up to the level 20, and then you find, hey, they're up at this boss. What is the communication like for the team? What goes into setting up this play? Is it just a chaotic mess, and it's just like rolling the dice and hope things work out for you? Or is there some coordination? How do you guys make sure that you get that play successfully and then go on to win the game?
I would say it was just a ballsy move. I would say, we had to do something. Something had to happen, otherwise it was gonna just snowball, and we were just gonna, as typical usual. Here we go. But we listened. We listened to ourselves. We took a chance, and it just kind of paid us. Sorry, I'm a little frazzled, but it paid off. And we just kind of got used to having to play on the defensive, and needing to take the risky moves in order to win. Just finally, RNG was in our favor, and it just, I want to say RNG, but I mean, I think our head was in the.
Sure. So then you guys get into game number 2. You go to Infernal Shrines, and there was a bit of a struggle there. They had the Alarak, they had the ETC, and I could just see it didn't matter where you guys were. I can only imagine that Mr. Sad Panda was Like, I can only imagine the number of 4-letter words that they had to be saying, if not vocally, certainly in their head. Because it just seemed like every time Jaina was remotely close, that there was a power slide or there was a telekinesis. So when you guys are going through this game too, and it's a bit of a struggle and you ultimately lose, like what are the keys that keep your head in the game that allow you to get into game number 3? What's your communication like? Who's the cheerleader? Like, talk about that a little bit.
I think we're kind of our own cheerleaders, I would say. Like, as bad as that game was, riding off of that first game, it just kind of kept the morale alive. Like, Panda, I know he was frustrated. We were all really frustrated. I mean, we could tell, we felt it, but it didn't affect our headspace. So pretty much just riding off of the previous win is pretty much what made us like focused and to come back out on game 3.
All right, so was there anything that you guys had as like a pregame ritual or anything like that you say, all right, we're going to Volskaya Foundry, this is how we're going to play this? What is your path to victory like getting set up for game number 3? Did you feel like it was a mountain, or was it just like, hey, you know what, it's time to just coast down the river and take this W?
Honestly, it was just like another game to us. Like, we didn't really psych ourselves up seeing like, oh, we're on the first time we got a game 3, the pressure really wasn't there for us, because we kind of just, obviously our whole season we haven't pulled off any wins. So it was kind of like at this point, especially next week being last game of the season, we weren't really too worried about anything. I think it was maybe that overall sense of just, oh, let's just play fun, and play what we like, and play, Sonya, one of my favorite characters, probably like my highest played, and I played what was comfortable. So we kind of just went in there wanting to be comfortable in a situation we never thought we'd see ourselves in this season, and we played we played very well together.
Sure. So, I wanted to ask you a few questions about your circumstances, but this is your first opportunity to have an interview. So, what else do you want to talk about? Is there anything any plays you wanted to highlight? Anything that you wanted to discuss just in general before we do shoutouts?
Honestly, it's all just kind of a blur to me. Like, I can't really name out specific plays. I mean, I probably remember more of the loss than I do of any of the wins.
Right.
I just remember seeing that ETC just, kick our ass pretty much, and it was just, those are the things that I remember more than actually. I mean, I guess I should remember a lot of like the good plays, but I just wasn't really focused on that. Like,
no worries.
More focused on keeping the map, in control, and just doing what we could.
Sure. And there were some flashy plays in game 2. Game number 3 didn't have a lot of pizzazz, but it was just a constant like push, right? You guys were, one step in front of the other, constantly keeping things going and ultimately getting your victory. That's not to say there weren't, because certainly, some of the rings from Mr. Sad Panda got a lot of value. You guys had you had some fantastic leaps. So, I mean, there definitely were those highlight reel moments. But it was just consistency that ultimately got you guys from the start to the finish of this final game, and ultimately your first match win of the season. So
yeah, and I think especially now that I'm thinking about the last game, leap was definitely the way to go. Especially, I honestly had no idea Anduin would have taken the barrier, and I left on him every time he used it as much as I could. I think maybe it's the circumstances had been different. Maybe Light Bomb, if I'm looking at it and analytically, probably would have taken us out a little easier. But I mean,
yeah, especially with a Murden.
Yeah, especially with Murden, it just would have either of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, yeah, the last game just really played in our favor, I think, and we kept control of the map very solidly.
Well, again, congratulations. Fantastic play here tonight. Really great to be here so that you guys could, you know, showcase your first match win of the season. Before we go, any shout outs you'd like to make?
I'll just shout out to the VileFins. You know, we finally did it. And to the Mrgle Village, you know, now we're at least got a W under our belt. And the general chat over there, I'm pretty sure if everybody was watching would be like, oh my god, they finally got
There's a fair bit of that, yeah. Well, great job. Again, thanks again for joining me here tonight. So go enjoy your victory with your team. Don't forget to report your match.
Okay, yeah.
Okay?
Definitely.
Don't forget to like do that tonight before you forget, because otherwise I'll have to harass you about it tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, have a good night.
You too, thank you.
Alrighty, and that is going to finish us up for tonight here. Gonna see who we can raid over to, but tomorrow night at 10 p.m. we're gonna have some Division S. We may even have some replay casts during the day. I don't know, but tomorrow night, January 25th, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Perfect Gems versus Order of the Sleeping Dragon. So this is a best of 5 series. You're not going to want to miss out on this. This is top level Heroes of the Storm play. So make sure, if you haven't already done so, make sure you hit the follow button and stop by tomorrow. And like I said, we may even get some replay casts tomorrow. Actually, it is an open day for me, so never mind. Thanks everybody for joining me tonight. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you again here soon.